this basically messaging app where people write messages and they show up in the string. And you know, it shows their photo of the user and their message and their name. Well, sorry, let's scale this properly. All right. So it's basically a Twitter clone, right? So it's people writing short messages and they show up in this string of messages. And I have a fake, like I have a mock API object that simulates JSON responses from the internet, and then it constantly feeds the app more JSON and more JSON, and like the app just converts this JSON to Realm objects, stores them on disk. No, the whole thing is kind of like already in place. And you can see that the new messages just come from the top as the JSON comes in, and the a data fetcher fetches them, converts the JSON to Realm, and stores them and so forth. Moment to click on favorites. All right, so here are all the messages that are having their favorite property set to true, and it's the same cell as in the other we control, so it just works. So how do we test this? So let's see. Right now Amanda is on top, and I'm gonna back to the feed, and I'm gonna favorite Morticia's tweet. I'm sorry, message. And I'm gonna come back, and now Morticia's on top. Pretty cool. So as soon as I favorited this one here, now Jennifer. So as soon as I do that, and I switch back here, Jennifer is on top. So, but then you will say then, but we had this before with view will appear, so that was kind of like, it's not new. Yeah, but right now if I unfavorite like one of those from this tab, then it will just disappear because it's not anymore in the collection. So, and these are the built-in animations that the table view just does by itself. It's nothing that we did specific there to have those animations. So, so yeah, so as we update the objects, the collection changes, there are this result type changes, and then in this simple closure in here, we can just update the UI in any way we want. And I just have this handy extension here that just does it automatically for all my view controllers. Okay, so, right. Let's favorite some more objects. I really like that. Right, so, okay, and then switch here, and now I can unfavorite them, awesome. So, is this reactive programming? Well, all the things we said before are still valid, right? Like, it doesn't really matter how many you have stored on disk, since you anyways just show 6 of them at one time on screen, so this is how much data you read from the disk. Is it message driven? Sure. As soon as you update an object from another view controller or from a thread, that actually just reflected on this one too. And actually this whole thing, I mean, this whole talk, I mean, this whole demo actually really has been happening on different threads, but I've never told you, right? Because there's this object in the background that fetches the JSON from the mock API, and then creates this JSON objects and creates the Realm objects from them and stores them on disk, and all this is happening in the background. But we never really cared about this. We just cared about the main thread, which is where the view controller stuff is happening. So kind of like you see that these things are really separate. There's this one like plot here, which is the UI and driven from data changes. And you don't really care who does these changes, and you don't care about the mechanism, how this other person class will notify you about those changes. So you just are interested in this object and you want to show them on screen, and this is the plot. And there's the underplot, which is in the background, like a networking layer is reaching out to the API, grabbing JSON, converting to, doesn't matter, just does its own thing. And then there's Realm in the middle, like doing all this stuff and like sending all the notifications and so on. So what I'm saying is that it's just really easy to separate the concerns, right? You have your UI, and the UI is only interested in data, and that's it. You have your networking layer, which is interested in communications and storage and things like that. I mean, ideally, there's a layer that takes care of networking, and there's a layer taking care of data and